every year before the NBA season begins, ESPN drops their top 100 players in the NBA, and it stirs up the community every single year. And in today's video, I'm going to react to the top 100 players in the NBA, see where they got it right, see where they got it wrong, because let's just get right into it. Just going off of ESPN's own criteria on their page, to get the final NBA rank prediction, we asked our expert panel to vote on player versus player matches for more than 20,000 possible pairings, and to choose based on which player we bet in 2025, 2026. So this is based off them projecting players going into this season. Some of these things they got right, some of them they got wrong, because I'm gonna be real with you guys. I have done my due diligence and my best to not look at this list this entire week. I've seen some spoils, which are crazy, but for the most part, I have not seen anything on this list, and we're going to get right into it. Now, there's one thing I do want to mention. Due to the long-term injuries, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, and DeJounte Murray, and recently injured Rocket, Fred VanVleet, those guys are not going to be in the list. So those 5-6 guys are not going to be on the list. Besides all that, let's get into it. So we got RJ Barrett start off the list. Now, I'm not going to take too long with these guys. Some guys say a few things, but this is the back end of the list. We're trying to get to the to the meat of the party. So let's get it going. RJ Barrett at 100, 53 last year. Kind of makes sense. RJ Barrett kind of makes sense. Stephon Castle, rookie of the year last year, 99, barely made the list. I mean, there's no way. Well, I mean, he's like an analytic guy. A lot of people don't think he's that good because of the analytics say that he really wasn't good last year. So it's a very controversial guy, but I think he's primed to have a really good season. You got Walker Kessler at 98, who I think is underrated. I don't think the Jazz picked up his. They didn't give him an extension, so this is a guy that probably could be traded sometime in this season, I believe. So, I mean, I think he's really, really good. Shot blocking center, can rebound. Hey, you play on my team. Payton Pritchard, reigning 6th man of the year, 14 points per game last year. Gonna have to do more because Jason Tatum's not here. I don't know if he's like a trade target, but this is a guy that I feel like a lot of teams at the backup PG, like the Rockets, Payton Pritchard. Oh yeah, like I mean, you have Reed Shepherd at home, but still, Payton Pritchard's nice. You got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, solid guard, really a wing for the Hawks. Just makes them a little bit more better. Shot 30% from 3 last year, can defend. I like the pickup for the Hawks. It makes them a little bit more dangerous in the Eastern Conference. I like it. Got PJ Washington. And he's solid wing for the Mavericks. I mean, not too much for PJ Washington. I think he fits at 95. Devin Vassell. He was unranked last year. Oh, because he was injured last year. Important player for the Spurs. I mean, if the Spurs want to play good this year, they're going to need him to play like efficiently for them, just to have a chance to even make the play-in tournament. So, Jakob Poeltl from the Raptors. Surprise. I mean, okay, I guess. Okay, Jakob. Shout out to Jakob Poeltl. 92, we got Mitchell Robinson. He did miss a lot of time last year. Going to be important for the Knicks as well. So 92 makes sense. Jrue Holiday at 91. That seems wrong. But, I mean, 17th season, 30. Still an impact player. I'm not going to lie. This is a guy that I still feel like if you add him to your team off the bench, he's going to make plays. And I think Jrue Holiday can do that. So, I don't know. Maybe last year I think was a little bit of a down year for him. But still, Jrue Holiday, come to my team anytime you want. Naz Reid. Naz Reid at 90. Wow. That's funny because he upped his scoring and he upped his rebounding and he actually shot 30% from 3 and he's 90. I ain't gonna lie, Naz Reid should be higher. He actually should be higher on this list. Last year was 87 after winning 6th man of the year and they got him at 90. Nah, I don't like that. I don't like that one right there. We got Andrew Wiggins at 89. Last year he was 90, so they really didn't move too much. I can see Wiggins at this spot. Solid wing, can defend. He might be traded sometime this offseason, this season too. He could be traded this season as well. So I don't know. But Andrew Wiggins, I don't know what Miami's doing, especially with Harold being injured. But Wiggins is a guy that I think could be traded for sure. Zach Edey at 88. Zach Edey. See what I said about Stephon Castle? The analytics were against Stephon Castle, but the analytics are in favor for Zach Edey, which is why I think they have him above him. I mean, nah, I can't put Zach Edey this high. I really can't. I know it's a projection, but still, like, solid young player, but 88 is a little too high for me right now. I don't know. He's gonna have a good season. I think he'll have a lot of burn. He'll be important for Memphis, but like, 88 is a little too high. Maybe I'm hating. Hope I'm not hating. I like Zach Edey, but I feel like Walker Kessler's better than Zach Edey though. Like if I had to pick the two of them, Hey, Memphis, you got one, so we'll see. I mean, he got to do better. I mean, I guess. Valanciunas at 87. Oh, Valanciunas. I haven't really watched so much Valanciunas. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, he's on the Nuggets now. That's right. So now they have a backup big for when Jokic comes out the game. I ain't gonna lie. Valanciunas coming off the bench for Jokic. I know Valanciunas is not this crazy name, but still, like that's pretty solid. That's a good backup big. Bradley Beal at 86. Last year was 70. I'm not gonna lie. Bradley Beal was buns on the Suns, and a lot of things didn't work out with that team. The whole team was all over the place, but Bradley Beal 86. Eh. He's on the Clippers now. Probably gonna come off the bench. So, okay. All right, 86 is cool with me. Jaden Ivey, 85. Last year was unranked. Important player for the Pistons this year. Important because I mean, last year they definitely had they made some progress. And Ivy, if he can have a season where he just adds on to what they've been building, be great. Could also be a trade piece for them to make another big move, but I mean, beforehand he was like right next to. Now I'm saying he was better. He was not better than Cade, but like it looked like he was gonna be his running mate next to Cade. So, but we'll see. I don't know. Tobias Harris, solid vet. He was important for Detroit. Like I said before, he was important for Detroit last year. So, if he can continue what he did last year, not have too much of a dip, and everyone else make a jump, Detroit's gonna be a problem for sure. For sure. Jonathan Kuminga, the whole 83. I think that's fair. I think Kuminga's really nice. He just don't have enough, he just doesn't get enough burn for the Warriors, man. Like reasonably so with their entire team and their makeup, but I think they might as well move off Kuminga. Now I think about it, they should probably just move off Kuminga. I don't think they Golden State needs to cut their losses and just say, all right, this didn't work out. Let's try to move him and go from there. That's what I think they should do, honestly. Norman Powell, who's on the Heat. Oh, he did sign with the Heat. Okay. Last year he was tough. He was really, really tough with the Clippers. People were making noise about him not being an all-star. And a lot of y'all were tweaking. Y'all got to chill with that. Y'all were doing the most. Like y'all doing the most. But Norman, yeah. I mean, losing Harrell now, having Norman is important now, so that's pretty kind of helps you in a sense, but Miami, I still don't know where the direction is. But Norman Powell, if he can continue what he did last year, it should be cool. Nemhard. He probably like one of the top. Andrew Nemhard, underrated player. And I ain't gonna lie, he probably had the best not the best. He had a top 10 highlight from last season. For sure. That snatch Hezzy and in the finals? Nah, Andrew Nemhard, you tough, bro. But he's gonna have an important role, especially with what's the name, Tyrese Halliburton being gone with an Achilles injury. So yeah, he's gonna have a most like increased role. So we'll see how he does. Should be good. I think Andrew Nemhard, with an increased role, as long as the Pacers continue building what they have. I know they lost some pieces, but he's a talented player, so I like him. DeMar DeRozan at 80. Last year was 45. Yeah, he kind of did have a down year last year, but didn't. Yeah. I have a video coming up about DeMar. I want to spoil it, but I will say DeMar DeRozan as a career, I think is very underrated. I think it's let me not say underrated. He's better than what people think about DeMar DeRozan. I know Drake has been dissing the mess out of this kid. Like I ain't gonna lie, Drake has been going crazy on bro. But DeMar, you still talented in my opinion. I feel like you're gonna hit to the Hall of Fame one day, but that boy Drake is doing a number. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Onyeka Okongwu, he have him at 79. Last year was unranked. Yeah. I feel like Onyeka Okongwu, just a solid overall piece to your team. I know you have Jalen Johnson coming back. Kristaps is new to the team. Yeah, so I like it. Onyeka, we don't talk about you enough here, and I probably won't. But 79 is cool. Sumani Kamara. Now, this is an underrated guy for sure. I believe he was all defensive team last year. If I want to be, I believe he was. Am I tripping? He did. He was second team. Why am I not? I'm forgetting that. He was solid last year. He was solid last year. Pacers don't get talked about, so people didn't really pay attention to what he was doing. But that guy's locks. He is locks. And I mean, if Blazers again, they're trying to build something over there. Another important piece for their team. So one of the better defenders in the game right now that people we don't hear about. Brandon Ingram. Oh man, the fall, bro, from 40 to 77. I mean, kind of injured last year, and I think the Raptors were all over the place. But I think now Barnes with Ingram And I mean, Barrett, I mean, it's a really, really wonky fit with everybody there, but we got to see how the Raptors do. And I still think Brandon Ingram's a solid player, but he's going into his 10th season. It's cool. At 76, Brandon Miller. Yeah, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this. I think Brandon Miller fits right there in that mid pack right there because he was 68 last year. They had him 68 after his rookie season. 76. I honestly think if he wasn't injured, he would have had a really, really good year. A really, really good year. He was on pace, but injuries suck, and we know how injuries go. So, yeah. Again, Hornets are in this tough place, but Brandon Miller, I mean, we'll see how he goes. I have faith that he's gonna like be one of the main pieces that can just turn this franchise around because Lord knows y'all need it, dude. Lord knows y'all need it. Jaden McDaniels at 75. Yeah, one of the better defenders in the game. Can shoot the 3-ball. Fits like a glove next to Anthony Edwards and what they do in Minnesota. He played all 82 games last year. Wow. Jeez. All right, then. All right, well. I mean, solid player. I like Jaden McDaniels at 75. Jabari Smith Jr. at 74. Wow. Okay. He did get paid this offseason, so shout out to Jabari Smith Jr. Number 3 overall pick. You know, people talk about that entire 2022 draft class with the Paulos, Chets, J-Dubs. Jabari, and honestly, Jabari in that Warriors series, a lot of Rockets fans would tell you, like, bro, that's when we realized, like, well, people who knew about Jabari knew already, but it was like that Warriors series showed you the importance of having a Jabari Smith Jr. on your team, a guy that can stretch the floor, shoot the ball, all of that. So, can defend, gives you versatility, like, I think, and especially this year with the Fred VanVleet injury and not having the trade with Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks all gone now, like, and learning from Kevin Durant, Jabari is primed to, like, at least, I think this is where you can see Jabari even improve more as a player. So, I like it. I like Jabari Smith Jr. at 74. Derek Lively at 73. This is funny because I have a friend who's a big Mavericks fan. If he's watching this, he knows who he is. And we had a debate last year about who would you rather have, Lively or Jabari Smith, and ESPN picked Lively over Jabari Smith Jr. So, Steve, you won. You won, bro. You won. Yeah. So Derek Lively at 73. Yeah, last year was 50. Last year he was ranked way too high last year. I don't know why they have it 56, but 73 fits perfectly. I think that's fine. I believe he's coming. Yeah, he'll be coming out. He'll be starting next to AD with Cooper Flag. Like, yeah, Lively's nice. I know people talk about him just being a lob threat. I think he does need to improve some more things in his game, but I like Lively, and if he stays healthy, the Mavericks have another really, really solid piece to their team. Just going back, I think the list has been fine so far. No one I feel like is out of place for the most part. I think the only one is Edey. I think Zach Edey's the only one at 88. I'm going back to it, but I think, yeah, the Zach Edey one is a little crazy. All right, let's keep going. All right, we have, it's probably gonna be a longer video. I'm sorry, y'all, but like, sorry. Zach LaVine at 72. Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, the Kings, again, they're probably going to be a playing team again. Even if Zach LaVine has another good year, he is a fringe all-star. He could be an all-star again this year and move back up in the rankings. So, yeah. Kobe White at 71. I would assume he'd be a little bit higher. I don't know. Maybe I think too much. I don't know. He was 20. Yeah, he averaged 20 and 5 last year and shot 37% from 3. 74 games played. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I thought he would be a lot higher than what he was last year. The Bulls, they did find some. The Bulls did find some, like, rhythm, I would say, and Kobe White was one of the main consistent. Yeah, he was, like I said, a consistent offensive player for them. So I don't know. 71 seems a little too low. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Maybe I'm tweaking. MPJ, who had the craziest offseason this year, talking about everything that was not basketball related. Yeah, 70. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, he should be a little bit lower. I don't know if I agree with that 70 right now. I mean, the Nets have nobody on their team, right? Let me not do that. Let me not hit on the Nets because I be feeling bad about y'all's 5 first-round draft picks. Everyone clowns because who knows? One of those dudes might be great. So I'm not gonna clown the Nets. But MPJ is going to be the main guy, like, on the roster that can. That's going to be the main guy, main focal point on the offensive end. So, yeah, 70's cool. All right, Josh Hart at 69. I mean, one of the better, like, glue guys in the game, literally. Connective pieces in the game. 69 makes sense for Josh Hart. Tyler Herro at 68. Well, he was an all-star last year. So I guess they're not really giving him that much credit for that. I don't know. Like, I feel like Tyler, I mean, he's going to be injured. I think what it was. I know he has an injury. I know specifically what it was. But I know he's going to miss, like the first few months of the season just healing that. So, I mean, again, Miami, figure out what you guys are trying to do because I don't know either. But, yeah, Tyler Herro, solid. Cameron Johnson, 67. Big piece for the Nuggets. Huge piece for the Nuggets. that is a great pickup to fill that Michael Porter Jr. role. I'd say better defender, an even better 3-point shooter. Yeah, he is one of those, like, when we talk about, like, technically he's a role player, one of the best role players in the game for sure. Which sounds bad, but it's not, because it's that great of a pickup for the Nuggets. So yeah, Cameron Johnson was a guy. Yeah, I like that pickup a lot, and he's gonna be next to Jokic and Jamal Murray. I mean, the main issue was MPJ couldn't hit shots, and Cameron Johnson can. And I think 67 is cool right there. Danny Avdija. If y'all saw my video that I talked about with the players that are under 25, top 25, Danny Avdija, I'm telling you, like, if the Blazers have a really, really good season this year, Danny Avdija's going to be a reason why. I'm telling you, bro. I know, like, Portland don't get talked about, but this guy is very, very, very nice, bro. Very nice. Aaron Nesmith. Oh, wow. At 65. I mean, he did have one of the better shooters in the game. He also had that crazy, I think it was game one, where he went off in that fourth quarter to help them. Yeah, he went off in that fourth quarter. That was some crazy stuff by Nesmith. But better than Nembhard? Pacers fans would probably know better than me, to be honest with you, but 65 over, oh, wait a minute, over Cam Johnson? I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I guess we can keep him at 65. Well, honestly, he's that great of a 3-point shooter. I can keep him at 65. I'll leave it there. That's fine. Lou Dort, middle linebacker for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Fourth consecutive season, Dort averaged fewer points. A stat that reflects the Thunder's growth in champions rather than anything that he's doing wrong. I ain't gonna lie, he plays defense like an outside linebacker, bro. He gets away with a lot of stuff. But, hey, man, it works. It works. I mean, great defender, big parts of wide. OKC is who they are. Lockdown defender. Also can shoot the three, so I'm not. 64 is fine. Lou Dort is. You cannot. I mean, I make fun of Lou Dort just because of the fact that I have friends who are Lou Dort fans or Thunder fans, so I just gotta make fun of him. But he's a great player, really, really good player. So yeah, LaMelo Ball at 63. Damn. All right, that's the first one where I'm just like, 63. Look, and again, if y'all saw my last video where I talked about the young players, LaMelo Ball has not played enough games. I feel that. And is it warranted to be 63 though? I'm actually shocked at the 63. Nah, man, LaMelo Ball's not 63. No. No, we're losing recipes. We're losing recipes. 63? Nah. 63 is crazy, bro. Nah. I mean, I get it. Not like availability is important. But even if we're projecting, 63 is nuts, bro. LaMelo Ball is not the 63 best No. I can't even speak. No. That's ridiculous. Christian Braun? Hey, come on, ESPN. What are we doing? Oh, no offense to Nuggets fans. No offense. But Christian Braun over LaMelo? Like, no, bro. No, we're like, back to LaMelo. Like, oh, my God. No, man. No. He just needs to play. LaMelo needs to play game. LaMelo, this is the year where you got to, like, tell people, like, y'all are tweaking on my name, bro. Like, for real. They got Christian Braun. Who's on the... Oh, now let's get to Christian Braun first. Hold on. Christian Braun, solid player last year. Oh, he averaged 15 and 5 last year. Oh, when he was in the starting lineup. I did not even realize. When I made my hiatus, like, I think it was like 2 years ago, I made a video about, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I made a video about the young players who were going to step up. Christian Braun was one of those guys. And, I mean, he's important for the team, so I'm cool with it. I like it. Zion at 61. Again, ESPN is doing that thing where, like, if you haven't played enough games, we're about to make you lower on the list. Which I get, but still, like Zion is literally one of the best players in the, like, let me say, I'm tweaking. He is one of the better young players in the game. Still, I think he's still 25. So, again, health. But if y'all see how Zion looks, that boy is slimmed down, looking like he's about to, like, I don't know. He's looking healthy, looking fit, looking like he wants to, like, legit get to the playoffs and win a game, or just, put New Orleans on the map like he was supposed to as a number 1 overall pick. So we'll see. I mean, I like the Pelicans roster right now. I don't know if maybe I'm buying too much hype on the team, but their media day and the way Zion was responding to some of them questions and what his mindset is, I'm really intrigued to see how they go. And we'll see. With 61 going into the year, that's a little too low. Austin Reeves at 60. I can see it. 20 points, 4 rebounds, nearly 6 assists next to LeBron and Anthony Davis. Then it changed a little bit when when Luka came into the picture. Another big like he's gonna have a big piece and a big role for what the Lakers want to do this year, and I think 60 is about right for Austin Reeves. I mean, people might have him in the top 50. I don't think he's in the top 50, but I gotta see some of these names actually, and we'll determine that. But as of right now, going back again, the LaMelo and Zion is where ESPN is getting a little weird. It's getting weird. Jalen Suggs, last year he was injured. Big reason why the Magic, was dealing with a lot of issues last year. But adding in like guys like Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, it's gonna really help the offensive load and let Jalen Suggs do what he does on the defensive end even better. So, I mean, when he comes back, he's gonna be important for the Magic. So, 16 points, 4 rebounds. Yeah, Suggs is where he's supposed to be at 59. I like that. Trey Murphy, another underrated guy. Last year was unranked. I think he was injured last time when they did the ranking, so that makes sense. But last year I didn't even realize that he averaged 21 and 5. Wow. I mean, they're gonna get their entire team. I'm telling you, the Pelicans are gonna be a team, man. I'm not saying they're gonna be like the sleeper team yet. They gotta be healthy, but like that's a team that like even though if healthy, they're gonna be annoying to play against. I honestly believe that for sure. Miles Turner, who's on the Bucks now, he moved up a lot. A lot. That finals run did some things for Miles Turner for sure. He's gonna have a nice fit in the Bucks next to Giannis, kind of fulfilling the role that Brook Lopez had over the last few years in Milwaukee. So yeah. 81 to 57. Good job, Miles. And you got paid this last offseason. Hey man, get your money, bro. He can shoot the 3. He's not a rim protector, but he's a shot blocker, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all. Some of y'all aren't going to get that, but he's a very good shot blocker, not a rim protector. Those who know, know. Those who know, know. Those who know, know. Isaiah Hartenstein at 56. Okay. 88 last year. Huge role for the Thunder. Even when Chet was out, he came back after injury. Team stayed afloat. Played a double big with Chet. Their pairing is great. He doesn't have to be the outside shooter because Chet can be, and he can be. The double big lineup for the Thunder really, really work. And that's another thing that's happening in the league right now. Like, teams running multiple bigs. It used to be small ball. Now they're just using their size against you. And that's one reason why the Thunder could beat up on so many teams. So, yeah, I like Isaiah Hartenstein at 56. He's that good of a player. I like that. Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels at 55. People say he could have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. I don't think so, but hey, he came second in it. So, he had a really, really good year, especially on the team that dealt with injuries. Historic year when it came to his ability to steal the ball. And again, like I said about the Hawks, bro, the entire team comes healthy, they're gonna be a problem. Paul George at 54. Okay, all right. I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad because I do think there's a lot of better players right now than Paul George. And I just think the memes about Paul George and the way people talk about him is kind of crazy. I don't know. I still think Paul George can still give you 24 a night. He's just not healthy. But all right, I guess maybe I'm overdoing it. 54 is cool. All right, 53. Alex Caruso. Caruso at 53. Last year was 59. Big role for the Thunder. We all know that. I think a lot of these guys now are making sense where they're at. I don't think there's anybody where I'm just like, oh, never mind, I seen Cooper Flag at 52. There we go. That's a problem. We're going to get to it. But Caruso at 53, yeah. I mean, like one of the better role players in the game. That's where I think the best role players are usually around this mark, and that's where you should be. So, yeah, I'm cool with that. Cooper Flag at 52, it's just, no, man. No, we cannot be doing that. Like, let him play. Let him play, bro. Like, I'm not even hating on Cooper Flag. I think he's going to be nice. I think the Mavericks are set for the future. But, like, let the man play first. I can't put him above all these other dudes yet until I think he might be the only rookie from his class that's going to be on this list. I don't think I've seen any other rookie from the 2025 draft class on this list. So, okay. All right, Cooper Flag. Sure. All right, dude. Man, it's cool. And then 51, we have Draymond. Yeah. That's right. That Draymond is right in the middle of this list, right there. You show his impact on defense. Offensively, may not be the best guy, but as a passer, I'm not about to boost Draymond Green's off. I'm not going to do that. But like Draymond Green, we know how good he is defensively. I know how important he is to the Warriors. So I'm cool with 51. 51 fits right where it's supposed to be. Okay, at 50, we got Kristaps Porzingis. This is the top half of the list. I mean, that's solid. I think Porzingis on the Hawks, the team that was injured last year, somehow made the play-in. And I think you have Porzingis here. I think he's going to be an important role for the team. Stretching the floor, rebounder. If he's healthy, it's another guy. It brings you some size next to Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu. Again, like, Trae Young has a guy that he can run a pick and roll with Kristaps Porzingis, pick and pops with. I like it a lot, and solid pickup for the Hawks. And 50, Kristaps Porzingis, I like that. Health is going to be a problem, obviously. Rudy Gobert. I feel like every list, Rudy Gobert is 49. Like around, last year was 34, but like around, he's never going to get in the top 25 ever. Like the way people talk about Rudy Gobert, he's never going to get the top 25. But I mean, he can literally anchor your defense. So you may not like Rudy Gobert. You may think he's ass. He gave the Lakers 30, I believe. Was it 30? I don't know, but he closed out the Lakers in that series. So hey, I ain't do it. He did it. So hey, Mikal Bridges at 48. Yeah, I'm cool with Mikal Bridges at 48. I know the Knicks paid a lot for bro, but still very, very nice piece to have on your team on the wing. Can shoot the 3-ball, can kind of create on his own at times, and can defend. I know people are kind of iffy on his defense as he's gotten older, but I still think that's a solid piece in New York. So yeah, is that Joel Embiid at 47? It is almost impossible to rank Embiid after the former MVP just played 19 games last season. ESPN, no, it's not. No, it's not. You just put him in the top. Again, going by y'all's own criteria is a projection, and y'all said a player-by-player comparison. Bro, Joel Embiid is top 10. What are we even doing right now? What are we doing right now? What are we actually doing right now, man? Joel Embiid is top, like, arguably top 5. If he's not in your top 5, cool, he's in your top 10 then. And if you want to say because of health, he's not in your top 10, all right, fine. I can live with that. But 47? 47? No, bro. We're not doing that. We cannot be doing that. We cannot be doing that. I'm not even a big Sixers fan. But, dude, this is just disrespectful. Like, so now every single name I see after Joel Embiid is going to piss me off, bro. Every single name, Jamal Murray, I'm sorry, that's going to piss me off. No. I ain't going to lie. People just, let me chill. I know it's a projection, but 47 is, no, that's ridiculous. Joel Embiid is literally going to be the best. I know it's an if, but if they're in the playoffs, which I think they will be, he's going to be the best player. There's only one player in the Eastern Conference better than Joel Embiid, arguably, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's it. Everyone else is Joel Embiid, the best player in that playoff series. So, all right, whatever, bro. Hey, ESPN, y'all got it. Jamal Murray at 46. He's had health issues, obviously, but 46 fits about right. This is a guy that can go off for. In the playoffs, we've seen him go off. I think 46 is right for Jamal Murray, but over Embiid is crazy. Jared Allen over Embiid. Okay, cool. Really important piece for the Cavs. I know Mobley is the defensive guy that they talk about in Cleveland, and he's great. But Jared Allen, important for what they do, especially, like I said, the renewal of the double big lineup. Allen and Mobley, a headache to deal with. And Allen is a very, very good backline defender with Mobley, and they can switch at times. Like it works complementary with those two guys. So Allen is very underrated. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I like a 45. Jalen Johnson. See, this is where the rankings don't make sense to me because Jalen Johnson barely played last year, but you're able to put Jalen Johnson at 44, but you can't put Embiid higher or like a LaMelo or like a Zion. That doesn't make sense to me. Or maybe not. Remove Zion, but just Joel Embiid for right now. That doesn't make sense. But regardless, Jalen Johnson's tough to me. I like Jalen Johnson a lot. I think that, last year I said it in my video, he was averaging close to 19 and 10 a game. Next to Trae Young, who's one of the best passers, playmakers in the game. Now you add in a guy with Kristaps Porzingis who can stretch the floor for you. This is I want to say most improved, but he was so good last year. I know most improved is a really, really weird award every single year to like gauge. But this guy's going to be not like, I want to say be on the lookout for Jalen Johnson, is all I'm going to tell y'all. Be on the lookout for, bro. Lauri Markkanen at 43. Last year was 33. He's on the Jazz, so people are not going to focus on the Jazz. But Lauri Markkanen, that's another guy who I think could possibly be moved. If not this season, maybe next offseason. I don't know, but like people need to stop. Lloyd Markkinen is a player, man. He is a guy. This is a guy that 7 feet. He's 7 feet tall. Yeah, he's 7 foot tall. Can shoot. I know the defense is not gonna wow you, but again, talk about the double big lineup that's emerging. You put him at the 4 next to your 5, or at the 5 next to your 4. I don't know. If I'm like the Warriors, go pick up Laurie if you can, or anybody. If you're trying to win a championship, Laurie's nice. Julius Randle 42. Julius Randle had a really like respectful season last year, because I know people saw him get traded from the Knicks because the year before they kind of did well without him, and they're like, they don't need him. And you see him get to the conference finals with the Timberwolves, and he really like improved his playoff demon. So, yeah, Julius Randle is gonna have to have a really good season again for the Timberwolves. I like it. I think 42 is right where he's supposed to be at. OG Anunoby at 41. Yeah, I think he's been better than Mikal Bridges, so I can understand that ranking right there. And I think importantly, he played 74 games, which they mentioned. Usually he deals with a lot of injuries, but last year he played 74 games, and if he can stay healthy, which is another big if again, because he's dealt with it, but this is a guy that can play D. Like he's a prototypical 3-and-D wing. Can shoot the 3, can defend, has strength, can deal with physical forwards. Is lengthy enough to deal with smaller guards. So, and I think he's right where he needs to be at 41. Last year was 51, so I'm cool with that. Aaron Gordon at 40. We're getting a lot of 3-and-D guys now. A lot of guys that are yeah. Aaron Gordon had a crazy improvement with his 3-point shooting. He did have a crazy improvement at 44%, and I know he dealt with. I don't know if it was a lot of injuries last year, but I mean, again, you replaced MPJ, you brought in Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon. Oh, I just remembered. It was Game 7 where I believe he had a hamstring injury, and it slowed him down. But I think despite the hamstring injury, the Nuggets were still gonna probably lose that game. But again, Aaron Gordon, solid piece for the Nuggets. I don't know if he's better than Cam Johnson though. I don't know if Aaron Gordon should be at 40. Some of these names that I've seen. Yeah, the people that I've mentioned, like the Joel Embiids and all them people, like, y'all know, he should be higher. But 40? Okay. All right, I'm not going to argue Aaron Gordon at 40, but I can stay with that. Desmond Bane at 39. Magic paid a big price for him. 4 first-round picks. They said, hey, we need shooting. We're going to go get shooting. They got it with Desmond Bane. Averaged 20 points last year. 39 is cool. I don't think that he's like I want a fringe all-star, I guess. Fringe all-star in the Eastern Conference at the guard spot, maybe. But, again, I don't think that's his main role. I think the fact that he's able to stretch the floor for guys like Paolo and Franz is his main thing. And if he hits that 3-ball well, the Magic are going to be a problem. With their defense that they already have, bro, stop playing. Darius Garland at 38. I thought he would be higher. Not going to lie. I think we're getting to the spot where like, a lot of these guys have shown that they've been in the top like 20. They can be in the top 30. They just dealt with injuries last year, so they brought them down. But I think 38 is fine. Darius Garland, is he better than Mobley? I honestly think he's better. I would think he's more important. Well, no, he's not more important because Mobley can't carry defense, so he could be a little bit higher. Amen Thompson at 37. One of my favorite players on my favorite team. I think this is a fair ranking, to be honest with you. I know Amen gets a lot. Where's Asar? I have not seen Asar on this list. Where is this? I have not seen Asar. Am I tripping? No, because Asar has not. I've not said Asar. Wow. Detroit fans, I'm with y'all because we got the Thompson twins. So not having Asar is crazy on this. What? I don't know if I agree with that. That's kind of crazy. Okay, but Amen last year, I think it was not third in defensive voting, but he was first team all defense last year. Important role for the Rockets. But I know he gets a lot of hype, and I love the hype because he's on my favorite team. But I think 37 is fair. He's that good of a defender. He's that great of a finisher at the rim. An athletic freak. Amen Thompson's 37 is cool. I'm fine with that. Zubac at 36 though. I think he's better than. See, again, when I talk about the analytics too, Zubac is an analytic diamond. People love Zubac. And I think he's proven it too. I think his defense does not get talked about. And I do think playing next to a guy like James Harden, who makes every single big he's ever played with, phenomenal, unless you're Dwight Howard. I don't know. Zubac at 30. I know he's a very, very good center. He's important for the Clippers. And I think with the whole Kawhi situation, he probably won't be a Kawhi until like he's probably done being a Clipper. So this is their second best player on the Clippers. So yeah, 30. I don't know. I just feel like Zubac is. I'm not hating on Zubac, but I feel like if Zubac, you can't take away his defensive prowess, but like his offense to me is just like very predicated on like who is running the offense at the time, like a Harden. And maybe I'm tweaking, but they mentioned being one of the best offensive rebounds in the league too. So, and he does finish at a high rate. Let me not do that. Zubac does what needs to be done at the position, so I can't even say much about that. He does it when he does it at an elite level and an efficient level. Fair. Zubac, fair. De'Aaron Fox at 35. That's fair. People don't like De'Aaron Fox. Let me say they don't like him. The analytics are against him, obviously, but an important player for the Spurs. Got an extension this off. I think it was this offseason he got an extension. He's gonna have a really, really good season for the Spurs to get that playing. He needs to be like averaging like what he did back in a few years ago, averaging 27 a game. But we'll see how it goes. I think 35 is where De'Aaron Fox should be at. But is he better than like? No, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if he's better than my man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if I agree with that one. Oh, Sabonis. Wow, they have Sabonis over De'Aaron Fox. That's funny. Wow. Okay, so Sabonis at 34. Yeah. Sabonis second in assists behind Nikola Jokic. Average 18 points per game. Shot 41% from 3 on only 2.2 attempts. But Sabonis, I think at 34 is fair. Is a fair ranking. 34. And I think I look at everyone else right now. Oof. Okay, sure. Sabonis, okay, fine. Joel Embiid, though? That's what I'm still thinking about, bro. Like, Joel Embiid at 47, like, whatever. John Morant at 33, bro. Honestly, I feel like it feels like he's too low because John Morant is that explosive as a player. And I really hate the way the Memphis Grizzlies went out last year, specifically with him getting injured in game 3 and them getting swept. They would have got at least one game, bro. The game where they're up like 30 and he got injured and really broke his hip. I don't know. But he's obviously going to have a better season this year, and he's going to move up in the rankings because John Morant is that good. I know people like he's one of the best. Obviously, I want to say his ability to get downhill and his ability to play make off of his downhill driving, bro. John Morant, he's so underrated. Like people love making memes about him and saying he's not this and that, bro. Like he's a really, really good player, smart player, especially getting others involved, man. The year when they had everybody on that team, like Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams, Tyus Jones, bro, that was a good team. And I think people forget how good John Morant was, bro. Or not even was, is. He's that good. 32, Franz Wagner. I love Franz. I've talked about his game before. 32 is the right place. He could probably even be higher. He probably could be an all-star if the Magic have a great season. And with the Orlando Magic picking up guys like Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane, the improvements in the entire roster, gonna be a problem. Y'all, Franz, I rock with dude. I'm mad you won the Eurobasket though. Took it away from my people in Turkey, but hey man, shout out to you, bro. 31, Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, I don't think he's better than John Morant. So off the rip, I cannot. That's that. Y'all got that one wrong, ESPN. But I mean, he's one of the best defenders in the league off the rip. I wish he was a better rebounder. That's one thing I really just wish Jaren Jackson was, bro. Like rebounding is one of his gripes. But I think last year, especially like they mentioned, he had a lot more weight and responsibility as an offensive player, and his efficiency dipped. But with everyone coming back with the Memphis Grizzlies, especially Ja, the emergence of Edie, like ESPN thinks, we'll see how that looks. But I don't think 31 is where I'm having Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm probably gonna have him a little bit lower compared to a lot of these guys on this list. I know he's a great defender, but I'm not 31 kind of wild. I ain't gonna lie to you. Scotty Barnes at 30. I mean, I saw a meme. This one I did get spoiled on. So they have him at 30. And then last year he was 35, so he moved up. But they mentioned here, where is it at? They mentioned Barnes took a step back last season. So, like, how does one take a step back and move up in the rank? I don't know. ESPN, y'all are a funny company. But Scotty Barnes at 30 is a fair marking. People, I honestly I wouldn't be surprised if he was dropped lower, to be honest with you. But, I mean, his efficiency did dip, but it's still a guy that can kind of, like, He's one of those versatile fours that you ask to play make, defend, shoot the ball, create for others, rebound. And Scotty Barnes does that. It may not be at the elite level yet, but like if he takes a step up, he could do it. But yeah, Scotty Barnes at 30, that's a reason. That's fine, and I think that I won't say he's underrated, but he is asked to do a lot for Toronto, and he does a fairly good job for his age, and I think he's gonna make a better leap this upcoming season. Trae Young at 29 is so disrespectful. Again, the Hawks sucked last year. Trae Young is just not gonna get his respect until he gets back into the playoffs and wins another series, because I don't know. I understand it. Like I said before, I've talked about the Hawks already and what they look like. They have a lot of guys on this top 100 so far. So, like I said, they're a team that you're gonna have to deal with in the Eastern Conference. They may not be your conference favorites to win the conference, but they're gonna be a tough outing. So, like again, they mentioned Kristaps, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard, Jalen Johnson. You have Zach. I didn't even mention Zachary Reese from last year, who, you know, he wasn't the main rookie that people talk about, but he was okay. He was cool. Let's see what you do this year. And you have all these guys next to Trae Young, and hopefully they can figure something out for Trae Young, because again, bro averaged, he was led the league in assists, 24 points per game. We know how Trae Young can go get you 30. He can get you 30. He's done it before. But hopefully the Hawks have a really, really good season this year, because if they don't, I feel like Trae is going to be on the move. He's going to be on the move. So Tyrese Maxey at 28. Tyrese Maxey, hey man. Like I said, I think the Sixers are primed to be a very, very sleeper team in the Eastern Conference, and he's going to be the second best player on the team next to Joel Embiid. So I know Paul George is coming off injury, Joel Embiid's coming off injury. Tyrese Maxey last year, he averaged like 26 points per game. Tyrese is going to be important, and I think he has, with a healthy team all coming back. I know Jerry McCain just tore his UCL, which is in your thumb, so he's going to be out. So that's already not good for Sixers fans. But Tyrese Maxey, they did mention his 3-point shooting did drop last season. Okay, well, I would say specifically the Sixers weren't a good team. That may have factored that in, but again, adding Joel Embiid, who's going to be a problem off the rip that you're going to have to send help for, it's going to make it easier for Tyrese Maxey, who averaged 26 last year. So it's going to be a 1-2 punch with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey last year. And 28, I'm cool with. Karl Anthony Towns, Big Cat, 27. Last year was 30. Again, kind of similar to the Julius Randle thing. I know they both got traded to their two former teams. People kind of thought Karl Anthony Towns was going to be, they didn't see the, he's a good player, but you have to question if it would work in New York. And it, for the most part, did. So I think Karl Anthony Towns, again, now that they have Mike Brown as their coach, Jalen Brunson is still there. They've added in some guys here off the bench to support their entire supporting cast. The Knicks are still going to be, if not the favorite, you still have the Cavs, so maybe the Cavs might be the favorite, but yeah. So we have Derek White at 26. Honestly, Derek White at 26 is a little too high for me. He is one of the better, like, additional role pieces on championship teams. We know how great Derek White can be. He can give you, we know how good Derek White can be, but 26 over some all-stars that we've seen, like, nah. I know he's important. Like, I feel like when you talk about, like, trade packages for players, yeah, Derek White's going to be there. But, nah, Derek White's a little bit too high for me, bro. Too high for me. It sounds crazy, though, because, I mean, look, I know how good he is, but I'm talking about the list of ranking players in the game. I'm not saying he'd probably be, like, the back end of the 50, but, like, maybe 10 spots too high. That's where I'm at, right? Maybe 10 spots too high. But he's going to have an important role for the team, for the Celtics with no Tatum. And, I mean, the expectations, I don't know what the Celtics are going to look like. He could get traded. I mean, his contract is tradable. And he's a good enough player to where teams will be calling the Celtics for him. So, I mean, I'll take him on my team for sure. Speaking of my team, Alperen Sengun at 25. He cracks the top 25. Putting some respect on my guy Sengun. Respect to him, man. I know we didn't talk about the Eurobasket, but if you watch Eurobasket this last few weeks, phenomenal hoops from all the international players. Round of applause to you guys out there. Sengun was phenomenal. And like we talked about with Sengun and his play for the Rockets, he's gonna have a really important season this year. He could have been All-NBA last year. He was an All-Star. Focal point to him being the number 2 seed. I like Sengun. I would say that 25. I'm low key shocked. I honestly thought they were gonna put him like in the 40s because people don't really respect Alperen Şengün. So hey, and they mentioned the double big lineup with him and Steven Adams. Still in my name, Steve-O. Chill, bro. But yeah, I like it. 25 is nice. Now, Chet Holmgren at 24 over Şengün. I personally believe Şengün is better than Chet Holmgren. That's been a debate over the last few years on my Twitter with my Thunder fans. But ESPN thinks differently. But Holmgren last year missed more than half the season. We know that due to an injury. Came back, was important in what they did to win a championship. And his, like, Sam Presti had a conference, I think it was like literally the same day today of this recording, where he talked about Chet Holmgren and just said, like, his stats aren't going to wow you, even though they kind of do. But, like, it's his connectivity to the entire team. Like, we know how good of a shooter he can be. We know how he can anchor your defense. We know how great of a shot blocker he is. Like I mentioned in one of my videos, he's the center that you've been making on 2K. Yeah, y'all that be tempo shooting and blocking shots and trying to shoot over people and playing defense. Yeah, that's Chet Holmgren. So, yeah. Chet Holmgren is that nice. 24. Personally, he could have been a little bit low. He could have been a little bit lower on the list. I wouldn't have been mad at it. But 24 is a solid spot for Chet Holmgren. Uno, James Harden. James Harden. Respect to James Harden, because last season, bro, James Harden at 35. I mean, he was the focal point for the Clippers. He was a focal point. I'm glad he was an all-star. I'm glad that he got them to the playoffs. The Clippers, though, y'all might be getting tanked very soon with that Steve Ballmer stuff, but we gonna see. But yeah, no, James Harden at 23 is perfectly fine. Pascal Siakam at 22, the do it all for. I like it. Pascal Siakam getting his respect. Within the forwards in the league, the power forwards, I'm forgetting some. I'm gonna see some more guys, but he's top 5 for sure. You saw that in the finals. You saw that throughout the entire playoff run for the Pacers, and he's gonna have to be their best player this season for them to have any hope of being competitive this year. I don't think it's over for the Pacers. So, like, championship wise, it might be a little cooked, but I still think they're gonna be a very, very good team. Well, we'll see about that, because they did lose some guys, but Pascal Siakam is that good of a player, especially in the front court. And I think 22 is where he's supposed to be at. That's pretty solid. He's like a fringe top 20 player. Bam Adebayo. Bam, man. I feel like I like Bam, bro. I really do like Bam's game. And I know his offensive game kind of took a small little dip last season, but this is a guy that could be winning Defensive Player of the Year awards. Like, he should be in the top 3 rankings every year. So, hopefully they figure it out, because they got a gem over there in Bam. Funny enough, his game reminds me of Asia Wilson a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. They kind of remind me of each other, but that's neither here or there. I'm not trying to be a matchmaker, because as you can see, it's already happened. But shout out Bam. Kawhi Leonard at 20. I'm not putting Kawhi over James Harden last season. I think James Harden was better. I know Kawhi Leonard's gonna get the. No, I think James Harden was better than Kawhi last year. I don't even know if he's gonna play this year, bro. Like, every single day, Pablo Torres is coming up with something new, saying, "Hey, Kawhi did this. Steve Ballmer did this. The Clippers knew about this." It's looking real bad for them boys in LA. But besides all that, Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, we've seen what he can give you. The issue is him being healthy, which kind of pisses me off again, because you guys ESPN knows what they're doing. You guys know how to factor in health and availability, but you put Joel Embiid at 47. That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense, but neither here or there. 20 is cool. At 19, we got Jaylen Brown. A lot of people I've noticed a lot of people do not like Jaylen Brown when it comes to him and how high he is in NBA rankings. They think that he should be like in the top 40, around the 30-40 range. And to be honest with you, I mean, hey, some people think that, and that's fine, but Jaylen Brown, last year, 26 points per game. You know what? We're going to find out this year. We will find out this year. If Jaylen Brown could somehow keep the Boston Celtics at least, like, above float without Tatum, then all the people who are slandering him and think that he isn't that good, gotta be quiet. Simple as that. Jimmy Butler at 18? Nah. At 18? No. That needs to be up, lower. Put him back up. No, sir. And I'm not even hating on Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is a very good player. But at 18, to be fair, he was important for why the Warriors were able to, like they mentioned, they had a crazy run in the second half of the season when he joined the team. Part of that schedule was a little bit light, was a little bit, a little bit light. They had some teams that were trying to tank, but nonetheless, they still won those games. But at 18, do I think Jimmy Butler is the 18th best player in the league? No, I think he's in the top 30 at least. Like, he's a very crafty player when it comes to his scoring because he doesn't have like the insane handle, but he's smart enough to get you off your feet and get that foul. And that's what he looks to do a lot. Look for those fouls. Like when people talk about foul baiting, Jimmy Butler is one of the best foul baiters in the game, bro. Like one of the best. So, hey, but 18, dog, I ain't feeling it. Paolo Banchero at 17. Paolo Banchero, last year, I talked about it again. I talked about it with my top 25 on the 25 video. First half of the season was a little bit some highs and lows. Second half of the season on a tear. And I just feel like Paolo Banchero, with the Magic, all the guys that we talked about that have joined the team, if he's healthy, they're going to be a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. If they're on fire and they're healthy, that's the team that you got to worry about. I know he gets comps to like young LeBron. He's not young LeBron, bro. He's like 2019 Blake Griffin, Detroit Pistons, the one that was very complete. Some of y'all are laughing saying, hey, what are you talking about? Some of y'all just don't know about that player in Detroit. Blake Griffin was that crazy, bro. He was that crazy. But Paulo, yeah, 17 is solid. I like that they respected how good he was. So Devin Booker at 16. I feel like that's right. I mean, it's a debate. You could debate Devin Booker being a top 15 player, or he's like right outside that doorstep. And I think maybe because of last season, the Suns and their issues. But I mean, looking at the media day today for the Suns and looking at Devin Booker and seeing all the guys he's played with and all the coaches he's had, bro, he has had a very peculiar career, man. Like, I don't know, 16 is, I mean, if you really want to be dissected, you could have him higher, in my honest opinion. And then they got Donovan Mitchell. So Donovan Mitchell had a better season last year for sure. I think maybe the last 2 seasons Donovan Mitchell's had a better season than D-Book. But the playoffs is just like, hey man, can we figure it out? And I don't want to say if he was injured or not, but I know the Cavs had injuries. I don't know if he was injured as well, but I mean Donovan Mitchell, if you want to go by regular season, the last 2 seasons above D-Book, I feel it. But I mean, he's gonna be great. Donovan Mitchell is that great of a scorer that I feel like you gotta have him this high, and he does that at an efficient level. Last season in the playoffs, it was kind of nasty in that Pacers series. It got kind of weird, but then again, you had to score because no one else on your team was. So I'm of the notion too in the playoffs, efficiency, throw that stuff out the window, bro. Get a bucket. That's all that matters. So, I mean, you can use that against him, but in the debate between Donovan Mitchell and D-Book, me personally, I'm taking D-Book. I'm gonna take D-Book over Donovan Mitchell, personally. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm not gonna argue about it. I'm not gonna argue about it. Donovan Mitchell, cool. Now we're in the top 15. We got Anthony Davis at 14. Fair. I think that's fair. I know Anthony Davis has been a top 10 player for like the last 10 years? 10 was 2015. Yeah, like 10 years. So he's 14. Last year he was 13. Honestly, when he got traded, he was injured. Only played a few games for Dallas. This season, he's healthy. He's going to be a problem. We know how great Anthony Davis can be. And you add in the fact with Cooper Flag, Kyrie, who looks like he's on pace to come back earlier than expected. Mavericks are going to be a problem. But Anthony Davis at 14 makes sense. Evan Mobley. Nah. I'm not even saying Evan Mobley doesn't deserve to be high on the top 100 list. Not saying that. Over Anthony Davis, I cannot do that. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. And that means the Cavs think that this is their best. I've said a lot of things about Evan Mobley, and Evan Mobley is like, he's truly a gifted defender and underrated offensive player. And I think this year he can make another leap. We all know that. But I mean, if they're gonna, and again, this is a projections-based list, but Evan Mobley this high to me is a little too over guys like Anthony Davis, D Mitch is better than Mobley to me. D-Book. No, I think Paulo's better than Mobley. Like I think he's too high at 13. I'm not saying he won't get there. I think he will get there. But as of right now in the state of the league, Nah. Nah. 13? Nah. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe he goes off this year and averages like 26 and still is in depoy voting. Like, we'll see, man. But as from what I've seen from Mobley, I don't know if he's 13, dog. Still a top. Well, there's some bigs that I think are better than him. But I would say he's obviously for sure a top 25 player for sure. For sure. Cade Cunningham at 12. Okay. Cade, I'm borderline top 10. The entire season last year, people had him in the top 10 saying, oh, the guy in Detroit, he might be the boy. And I mean, he's doing it for Detroit. So I honestly will believe that this season for Detroit, Cade has to keep up what he did last year, has to improve, add to his game, needs some more help from his Detroit guys as well. And I'm just now realizing they didn't have Ausar Thompson on this list. And I'm still like, what are we doing, bro? Like Ausar is just, that's so crazy. But it is what it is. But Cade, I would assume he's a top 5 PG in the game. And I really hope that last season isn't a fluke and he builds off of it, because like he is the future of Detroit basketball. And if he could just get another guy next to him, Detroit can really, with the state of the Eastern Conference right now, dog, y'all can run off a few like Cinderella runs, man. Y'all could do it, man. Y'all could really do it. So we'll see. At 11, Jalen Williams. So I did get spoiled for this. Nah, man. No. I don't think Jalen Williams is at 11. Like, the next guy after the top 10 is Jalen Williams? Nah, I just, no. Too high. Way too high. Top 25? Absolutely. Cool with me. But 11? I know we're projecting again, but like, to be fair, in his defense, last season with their double bigs with Hartenstein and Chet gone for some time, specifically Chet, Jalen Williams had to be a very, very great defender. And last season, he probably had, out of all the things you could do last season, all the awards, he was all NBA third team, all-star, all defensive second team, NBA champion. So he went through the ringer and got everything. So fair to Jalen Williams. And I'm a Jalen Williams fan, so just 11 is a little too high for me right now. Entering his 4th season, we're going to see, but a little too high. 11? The next guy? I don't know about that one. At 10, we have Jalen Brunson. Last year, he was 12. I mean, he's been an important player for the Knicks. And I know people talk about Jalen Brunson's game, but like, hey, man, the guy gets done even at how small he is at 6 foot. The guy is a bucket. And we've seen that last year, especially in that series against the Pistons where he iced them to end the series. So, yeah. And again, with the Eastern Conference, how it looks now, Jalen Brunson's going to be, I think he is I think the 3rd best player. But then again, you got to realize Tatum isn't on the list, so that might boost him out. But it's kind of crazy to think Jalen Brunson's a top 10 player. We'll see. Kevin Durant, number 9. KD last season, we know how they burned out with the Phoenix Suns. But as like, if you look at Kevin Durant's efficiency as a scorer, bro, that stuff is insane, dog. Like, he is still doing this going into year 17, I believe. Just incredible. Gonna be important for the Rockets. My Rockets, we know how that's gonna be. I would say it's right. Kevin Durant's a top 10 player. Right now, he's a top 10 player. So wherever you have him, probably in the back half of the top 10 is cool, but he has to be in the top 10. I can live with that. At number 8, I have LeBron James, the GOAT, the king, my Shayla. LeBron James. At number 8, probably fair. To be very honest with you, I wouldn't have been surprised if LeBron James was not in the top 10. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, there are some guys who I would probably take above him right now just because of how they've been playing. And I know LeBron is consistency going to be, his consistency as a elite player is no one else is touching him. But yeah, I feel like LeBron James at 8, top 10, borderline top 10 is where I would have him. And I think this might be this won't be the last season, but I think after the season, we're going to get the farewell tour. I truly believe that's what's going to happen. Lakers are primed to try to win a championship. The duo of Luka and LeBron, I feel like it works well. Every other guy in the pieces, when it comes to Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Austin Reeves, those guys, if the role pieces can complement what they have in the 2 best players, Lakers will be a tough out, but we'll see how that goes this season. Number 7, Stephen Curry. I honestly do believe that Stephen Curry is this right now better than LeBron James and Kevin Durant and everyone else that I've seen. I think they just had a GM poll. NBA GMs were just asked, and scouts were asked who's the best American player in the game right now, and they voted Stephen Curry. And I believe so. I think Stephen Curry is still that amazing, especially seeing him in that Warriors Rockets series last year. Dog, dude, he is insane, bro. Stephen Curry is one of one, man. But I think the Warriors and what their makeup of the team is this year, it's weird. I feel like the Warriors still have a lot of holes, but Stephen Curry's greatness when it comes to his offensive ability to just literally put the ball in the basket from deep and kill your morale is second to none. And it sounds so cliche, but he literally can, and he can kill games and just destroy them just with him being on the floor. And the Warriors are lucky to have him, especially with how they've been fumbling their roster management and adding pieces in. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the Warriors are competitive this year. Yeah, but Stephen Curry is definitely, 7 is fine. Anthony Edwards at 6. I think Anthony Edwards is the best shooting guard in the game. That's fair. I think he's improved every single year as we've gone along. That's fair. Nearly shot 40% from 3 last season. That's fair. Do I think he's 6? It's a little. I mean, last year they had him at 10, and I mean, to be fair, going into this last season, bro, many people didn't think the Timberwolves were going to do what they did, and they were close to getting. Well, to be fair, when we look back at it, the Warriors series didn't have Steph, so they kind of did get skated in the second round. Besides that, that's team talk. But Anthony Edwards, he's legit been improving his game. They talked about, like, Shams Charania was talking about how he's been focusing on trying to be more of a leader. His game with mimicking Jordan and Kobe, which is kind of like where many people, compare him to because of his athleticism and his scoring threat and ability. So 6 is cool. I think Anthony Edwards, it might be a little too high for some people, but Anthony Edwards is a top 10 player in the game for sure. So he's in the back half from 6 to 10. I'm fine with anywhere where Anthony Edwards would be at. I'm cool with this so far. That's fine. I'm not cool with this. Nope. Not one bit. No, I'm not. My thing with Victor Wembanyama at 5 is that I know how good he's going to be this season if healthy. We've seen how insane he has been on the defensive end, in the highlights and the showcases and all the things he's shown us from the offensive end. He just hasn't done it enough. And again, ESPN is going to project guys and say this, is and that. But if Victor Wembanyama is at 5, he has to have done enough to put people to say, like, oh yeah, this is where I'm at. And he just hasn't done enough yet. He just has not. And I as a talent, he is a top 10 player, but he hasn't done enough. And other players have. So it just comes down to a point where it's like, all right, you may have the skill set, you may have all the intangibles, but have you done it yet? And that's why I'm okay with having Anthony Edwards at 6, because he's gone to the conference finals. I've seen him improve his game every single year. Victor Wembanyama is an anomaly, and is probably going to take the league by storm in the next 10 years. But it's too premature for me to put him in the top 5. It's too premature. But I don't want to take away from his game. I still think that this year he is in pace to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. He's on pace to be an MVP threat if he can put the San Antonio Spurs in any type of playoff talks. And he is the future of the sport. I want him to do well, because if he does well, the NBA is going to thrive. So I'm not making it seem like I'm hating on him, because I'm not. I want him to do well. Well, I'm a Rockets fan. I can't actually. I want him to do well to an extent. But I truly believe that I haven't seen fully enough. And at 5 is just too high. It's just way too high right now. But we'll see, man. We'll see how he does this year. At 4, we have Giannis. Whoa, that means they have someone at 3 that's kind of crazy. Okay, 4 Giannis. Okay, Giannis at 4. I mean, Giannis is a top 5 player. We knew this already. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of who do we think is in and who should be ranked where. Giannis at 4 is fine. I wouldn't have Luka at 3. I'm skipping to Luka because I think Giannis should be above Luka as of right now. I think Luka last season, part of it was getting traded. Part of it was coming back from injury. It messes things up. But I would have Giannis above him right now. I think Giannis is not the best player, because we know there's 2 people who we determine that right now. And I would say he's at least the third or fourth best player in the league, and they have him at 4. But I would have him above Luka if it was a decision. So, the Bucks don't look like they're the same Bucks from years before. Hopefully, it looks like they can improve their team and still have enough to where they can. I mean, if you have Giannis on your team, he is the best player in the Eastern Conference. So off the rip, you're going to have a chance to win a championship because you have him. So, yeah, I'm okay. Giannis at 4. All right. Luka at 3. Now, Luka looks like he slimmed down. Eurobasket, he looked great. But like I said, I would probably have him at 4. But it's not something that I'd probably just like mope about. Like it's cool. Luka at 3 is fine. But I mean, we've seen Luka when Luka is on fire. This is an MVP. This is arguably the best player in the league at times. So, like I mentioned with the Lakers, LeBron and Luka, I think it works. Now it just comes down to those guys around them. Can they put it all together? And that's the real question mark. Did the pieces that Rob Pelinka added into these guys, does it fit? I still think they need to make one more move. They can get a guy like Andrew Wiggins on their roster. Yeah, for sure. Ooh, let's just talk about it. We got Shea in 2, Nikola Jokic at 1. All right, man. All right, look. This is my thing, bro. Shea legit had a phenomenal scoring season last year. Won the championship. Finals MVP. The thing is, Jokic is arguably he is one of the best offensive engines players we've ever seen. I would have Shea number 1. I'd have Shea number 1 because of what he did last season. And I know Nikola Jokic, analytically and statistically, everything you want to look at, he was bonkers. He was insane. But I gotta give it to Shea because going into that final series, there was games where it felt like it was game 4 specifically. Game 4, Shea legit said, all right, it's time for me to get the ball and show you I'm the MVP of this league. And he went ahead and did that. And I don't want to use the team tax where like the Thunder had a great team because Nuggets have had great teams before and he still won MVPs. So I'm not going to use the team tax. I think Shea going in like what he did last season at the guard spot as a scorer with his efficiency, the same type of efficiency like as if he was a big, like, nah, man, like, nah, bro, you got to. And I know Jokic is, and I'm not taking away from Jokic because if it was a 1A, 1B with these two guys, I would have been fine with it. I'd probably swap these two, but it's not the end of the world, but this is just my own take on that. So, yeah. That concludes me going over the top 100 list. I'm not going to lie, ESPN, y'all boys tweaking on some of them guys, bro. Like, whew, I ain't going to lie. I know it was a longer video, guys. For those of you guys who watched the entire video, it truly means a lot. I do appreciate you guys. If you guys saw some guys that you didn't like on the list that were too high, too low, let me know in the comment section. And by all means, man, stay up to date with everything on the channel. Leave a like, subscribe, and leave a like. We're going to double back that twice. Yeah. But besides all that, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay on beat.